Yeah, so welcome to yet another monthly meetup for the AWS ML user group. We usually host these sessions every first Saturday, but this month round we went with the second Saturday. Just to mention is we always welcome anyone who has an opportunity. It's not a closed space. So if you have anything that you're doing, especially with AWS AIML, and you'd like to share with the community, feel free to reach out to any of our leadership or our volunteers, and we'd be happy to schedule you in one of our subsequent monthly meetups. So this week or this month of March, we are having an amazing guest in Nelson Ngumo. He's going to be talking to us about from localhost to cloud, architecting and deploying scalable systems on AWS. And it's going to be all hands-on. He's a very hands-on guy. And just to mention his bio here, if you look at it somewhere here, let me just go here, is a DevOps and cloud engineer. He has specialized in multi-cloud, does an amazing job. And it's a very interesting part that he was uh, he was one of our top participants of last year's 30-day Terraform challenge, went above and beyond, went on to get certified with the Terraform Associate certification, and also built amazing project and has positioned himself as one of the people who is advocating on Terraform, on HashiCorp, on things around infrastructure as code. And he has an amazing community which he's going to be talking about, which is called EVOps, who for this year, we are partnering with EVOps to bring to you the 30-day Terraform challenge. And you're going to give more information about where we are with that particular aspect and how you're going to run it a bit differently this year, which is going to be very interesting and very challenging. But you're really going to enjoy how we have already figured it out and envisioned it. He has his computer science background and works a lot in containerization and a very active contributor with the cloud and DevOps community. Just to mention, he has spoken at, is it Hashi Talks Africa? He's going to mention more about himself just before he gets to what he's going to share with us. And thanks so much again for each and every one of you who has joined this session, because I know there's many things you can do on a Saturday morning, and you choosing to be here with us, we don't take it for granted, each and every one of you, and we do believe that we're going to get value out of this session. As a tradition, in case you are here and you're part of you're welcome. You're welcome, Alan. If you're part of the leadership, that is, if I know maybe Sherry and Rachel may not be here today because they're having an amazing women's event going on somewhere. But if you're here, that is Jacob, Mishek, or who else have I missed? Or Julie. Julie might not be there. Mishek and Julie might also be there because of Adventists. They're Adventists. But Jacob, if you're here, that is our leadership. I'd be happy to recognize you before I take the baton and I give out the mic, the stage, and the screen to Nelson. So, Jacob, are you here? Ah, yes, Jacob, you are. Can say hi to the people and
Yes, I'm here.
yes, yeah, yeah. Say hi, say hi.
Okay, yeah. So, hi, my name is Jacob. I'm part of the AWS user group AML Kenya, and I'm happy to be here. Also, I'm looking forward to learn from Nelson. Actually, I'd reached out to him. I think it was earlier, like 2 weeks ago, and this is a really good opportunity now to get to hear from him because I was checking. He's done a lot of good things. He was one of the people we spotlighted last month, and it's good to get to hear from him. And yeah, I'm looking forward to learn. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you so much. The other people I'd like to recognize is maybe if there are any user group leaders for the other user groups. We have AWS User Group Pwani and AWS User Group Kenya. If you're here, or as well as our Cloud Club captains, if you're here, you can say hi to us. Then you can take it to Nelson now. I can see Crispinas. If you're here, you can say hi to us and any other Cloud Club captain that is here.
Hi everyone. Hope you are all doing great. Um, I'm eager to learn more in this session. Receive greetings from AWS Cloud Club team. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And without further ado, I'd like to welcome this guy, my guy. I love this guy, Nelson. He's just, it's very rare you find humble people and people who don't get keep information. And they're very big on community. And one of the best news I ever had is he's starting his own community called EVOPS, and he's doing amazing in the community, in the tech space, in the professional space. And also told me, Kevin, you can come in and be part of this. It's very rare you find that. Most people are very competitive. They think about. We were having a conversation. I was at the Africa CISO Summit this week, and we were having a conversation with someone who just we met over lunch. I usually love sitting by myself. Then if anyone who can come in, we can interact. I don't care whether you know me or whether I'm famous or not. Then he came in and he told me that this cake is too big for any one of us. So if the cake is so big, then why should we be worried when it's so the community cake is big, the tech space cake is so big, you cannot get enough of it. So at any chance, if you're learning and share, make sure you take advantage of the cake that is out there. And I'll definitely make a post about the Africa CISO Summit and the things around that later on. So do check on my LinkedIn. And without further ado, Nelson Ngumo, the floor, the screen, and the mic and the camera is yours as I take the backstage.
Good morning. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
All right. Thank you so much, Kevin, for this opportunity for even the AWS user group, AIML user group. Thank you so much, Kevin, for the good work that you're doing. I really appreciate. First of all, I also want to thank even David and Kevin. This week we had an AWS game day, which was very successful. I don't know what position we were because by the time the session was coming to an end, I had already left. Yeah, so let me take this opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Nelson Ngumo. I'm a DevOps and a cloud engineer. I work at FinTech. I work with SACCOs, that is banking and finance. I work for a circle called Kenya Life Circle. So it is a circle that is based with the Kenya Life, part of the circle side. So there we do financial systems. We manage core banking systems, cloud-based. Mostly there we deal with Azure, but on a personal level, I'm more into AWS. So in terms of multi-cloud, I'm a bit conversant with it. Apart from that is I love hiking. So yeah, that's one thing I like to do. And also at my own free time, uh, I try to unwind and also try to work out a bit. So that's about me. Um, Let me take this opportunity. On my machine, I'll not be able to present the PowerPoint presentation. I have some presentation with me. I'll ask Jacob maybe to do a presentation of the same. And then maybe Kevin, if I can ask, because I'll do some deployment. Can I be running the deployments as we run the PowerPoint, so that by the time we are finishing the PowerPoint, the deployment will have finished, or we can do the deployment together?
I think what you can do, because you'd want to see the end product or something, you can be running it as the slides go through. Then you can walk us through what you did. Then you tell us this, because you don't want to have those weird moments where you say, now let us wait for the deployment. Is there any question? And then those weird things. Anyways,
All
I'm
right.
just joking. Yeah.
All right. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much for your guidance. Um, yeah, so we are doing from 0 to hero. That is, we are doing a deployment from localhost to an AWS deployment. So if Jacob, you can go to the next thing, what we are expecting is that we are going to have a repeatable, we are going to minimize the repeatable deployment. So we are going to have a GitHub Actions, CI/CD deployment. So this project has 12 steps. We are going to Dockerize. We have Terraform, where we are going to have a Terraform remote state on an S3 bucket. We are also going to have a Dynaform DB table where we are going to lock the S3 bucket so that anytime we do Terraform apply, and if when you're working as a team, at a go, you can only do Terraform apply at once. So that's why we do a Dynaform DB table lock so that only one person can do the Terraform apply. I know Kevin has talked about the 30 days Terraform challenge, and maybe that will come later after this session. We're also going to have VPC and subnets, also routing. We are going to have an Amazon container registry. That's why we are going to push our images. And then now we have an ECS, that is Amazon Container Service, that will also run hand in hand with EC2. So what we are going to do is we are going to provision our infrastructure. In short, we are going to manage our own cluster. So having ECS and EC2, basically, when you hear about ECS and even EKS, what I usually say is, if you have ever deployed an ECS or an EKS, if you talk about node, ukienda tu kwa instances zako, you'd see that it's computing machines that are running there. So basically, to make it, not to make it hard, because some Kubernetes languages are a bit complex. When you talk about a cluster, it's maybe a group of machines together that are running concurrently. So if you have ADKS or ECS, it will depend on the provisionings that you do. And then now we have an RDS. That's where we are going to have a Postgres database. We'll also have secrets. So we'll have our secret manager running on AWS. We'll have observability, where we are going to do CloudWatch. Then we have a CI/CD pipeline, and also, like I've said, we have an S3 bucket and also CrowdFront. So we are going to use an application load balancer, that is an ALB, that is going to load balance our front end application. So CDN is content delivery network, where let's say you have an application that is being accessible globally, then you want to bring resources closer to your clients. So that's why we usually cache our data. So you can use an application load balancer to load balance your traffic. Then we are going to harden and also do some checklists. So the best practices is you use least privilege. Then we can use private network for data. Of course, we are going to use private subnets for our backend, that is our RDS. And then you'll also have different scenarios where we are going to have even public subnet. We can go to the next slide. Yeah, so this is our architecture. So what will happen is once we push a code to GitHub, what we want to see happening is that GitHub is going to do a CI/CD. A CI/CD is a continuous integration, continuous delivery. When you're working as a team, I expect if I have a branch, the other person has a branch, and then I push to my branch, and then now maybe the senior dev wants to push to the main. it depends with the company you're working in. The CI/CD or the CD, it's interpreted differently. When you say continuous delivery, it means the deployment is manual. But if you say continuous deployment, it means that you've automated your deployments. So that's the difference. Then after these GitHub actions run, it is going to push our image to an ECR. So our container image is going to be versioned. So we'll have different container images versions depending on how we are going to provision our Docker file. After this, now the ECS is going to pick this image from ECR. So ECS, it is Amazon Container Service. And then now the application load balancer is going to route. So it's going to make sure that there is a communication between the containers, backend, front end, and the database. So we are going to do health maps. Then we are going to do health checks, and then we are going to put an interval where at every 30 seconds, the application load balancer keeps pinging or hitting the backend for communication and also the front end. Then we have the RDS, that is the Postgres database. And then now we are going to manage our secrets on the secret manager. We are not going to hard code anything. Everything we are going to manage it at the service level. And then we have CloudWatch. So Kevin, I think these are like 10 services that we are going to run today on AWS. I think even there are more. So for those who have not joined, please tell them to join. These are going to be a very interesting session. So let's go to the next slide. I'll not go through everything in these slides because I know everyone is waiting for hands to get dirty. So whatever we are going to do is you have to have the tooling that you have to have is GitHub, Docker, Terraform, and AWS CLI. All these tools are free by the way. I usually say in tech, it's up to you if you want to just upgrade yourself. All these tools are free of charge. I think most of the tools are open source. And then we are going to use a dedicated AWS account, of course. We can go to the next slide. Let me just do a deployment as oh, yeah. I hope the growth of presentation will be good to me. Let's move to the next one. Yeah, we are going to do a Dockerized a Docker file, a very simple Docker file. I'll have a Node.js and Express as the backend, and also using a very simple site. I'm going to show you a very interesting one, by the way. I've created something very interesting. And then now we'll have the backend. So it is a 3-tier application. So the next slide, and go to the next. This is the infrastructure as code. So we are going to have infrastructure as code where we are going to provision our infrastructure. We are going to use Terraform. So Terraform will be infrastructure as code for provisioning everything, our infrastructure on AWS. I'm not going to click any button on AWS. We are just going to view the resources once they have been created. Right now, the resources are getting created. So yeah, so local Terraform state is fine on your laptop. As I've said, once you do deployments locally on your laptop, so it means the moment the second person touches your infra or your CI/CD person, your CI/CD pipeline, you need remote state. So two things: remote state give you the first state file of in S3, then it gives you in encryption, then it is versioned, it's never lost. And then the dynamo log table means that only Terraform apply can run at a time. So it means if there are things that you use in Terraform, it's called HashiCorp Cloud Platform where you can manage infrastructure when you are a group. So at any given time, let me say me and Kevin, we are pushing our infra. When I do Terraform apply and Kevin does Terraform apply, at any given point, it can only apply at once. Only it can only run at a time. So that we can have infra consistency. And then the infra will not be corrupted. When we say about remote state, it means this is a blueprint of our infrastructure. Everything that we provisioned, the remote state, the blueprint of all your infrastructure. So now here's something that people always ask. So how do you create an S3 bucket and a dynamo DB table themselves? So you need to bootstrap, and then we are going to extract the backend config, and then the workflow from there is always like it's going to validate, plan, and apply. So we're not going to have any manual clicking. We can move to the other slide. I know I'm not moving with the slides maybe, but I'm trying to explain this. So the next thing is we are going to have two availability zones. We are going to have a public subnet and an application load balancer, and also behind a NAT gateway. We're also going to have private subnets because ACS and also RDS is to communicate. Then we are not going to have a public IP on compute or DB. So this is how we are going to provision our VPC. Our VPC is going to sit under two public subnets, which are going to be behind an application load balancer, then a NAT gateway, and also an internet gateway. Then our private subnets are going to be two, where we are going to provision them under Amazon Container Service and the RDS. Then we'll have security groups. And then you can also put Route 53 for a production application, but for today, we are not going to set up the certificates. Yeah, let's move to the next one. And Kevin, I would request if someone has a question, maybe they can ask as we go. Yeah, so container registry images hygiene, I've created some best practices here. The best practices is as you have to have a Meetup tags or strict tagging rules, enable image scanning. I'll show you how images are scanned, and also lifecycle policies where you clean all images. Remember, on AWS, everything you are charged. So you cannot have like 20 images and you're also only using the latest image. So you need to have a policy. You can have either a Lambda function that triggers maybe every time you have like 10 images, it deletes the old images that you're not using. Then you have tagging strategies that save your incidents. Always tag images with commit. Then optional tags. That is latest for non-production. And then you have rollback. In case anything happens to your production, you can always roll back immediately so that you don't, if it is an application that is on production, you don't affect your users. The next slide, please. Okay, there's someone who is asking the CI/CD for infrastructure as code. I'm not yet to the code. We are just doing the PowerPoint presentation. And then once we finish here, I'm going to now to show you each and every part of the code that I have. Then we are going to deploy the compute, that is the ACS on EC2. So we are going to define our CPU, the desired, how many instances do we need to run? So we are going to provision that. Remember, there's the way you usually say that you can have maximum 4 nodes and the desired should be 2. So I'll show you how this what this means. Where the services desired count, then we have target groups and health check, then we have EC2 launch, and then we are going to have an application load balancer, and then we'll validate all that. Let's move to the next slide. Jacob. Yeah. So then we'll have the RDS, that is a relational database service. The RDS has always to be on a private subnet. Please never put your database on public subnets. Then storage has to be encrypted. Then you'll have to have automated backups. Then we are going to have scaling. This is how we do it in production. You'll have to have multi-zones for high availability, red replicas, and then performance insights. We can move to the next slide. Yeah, secrets and configuration. Secret manager is able to manage our tokens. It's also able to store an secret configuration and also task definition. Then never bake secrets into images. So don't store your secrets inside your images or inside your Docker file. Have them as variables, call those variables, then store those secrets under secret manager, or you can call them as a variable. Then have list privilege pattern. When you're having Amazon container service, read only is required just to read the secrets. Then the CI/CD role is to push the ACR and also update the ACS. So separate the roles per environment. Yeah, so someone is recommending, I'd recommend that you stay behind, plot through the presentation over time with the believe. All right. So let's go to the next one. We'll have monitoring, we'll have CloudWatch. I'll show you how we can monitor our ECS and also how we can also monitor our instances as well. Then let's move to the next one. Yeah, so the CI/CD GitHub Actions, we'll have a pipeline. We'll have Terraform plan, and then we'll build and push our images to ECR. Then after deployment, going to update our ECS service. So that's our GitHub action. I'm going to show you the GitHub action pipeline. I think there's someone who had asked about that. So make sure you don't leave the session. Let's move to the next one. Yeah, we'll do a hardening checklist. So we'll do identity access management list privilege. Then we'll have remove long linked access keys. And then DB must be in private subnet and also encryption. Then we'll have reliability. I will have the multi-deployment of the availability zones of the ALB and ECS, that is application load balancer. Then health check and also auto scaling. Then on the cost, we'll have budget and anomaly detection, then lifecycle policies. Then we'll have VPC endpoints selectively. Nice. So we're moving on well. Multitasking as well, because doing the deployment as I present. So these are run book where we CD to our infra. These are what is a structure, a project structure. We'll have Terraform init, Terraform plan, Terraform apply. Then we'll have Docker build. I've already built the image locally. In fact, I've been trying to do this project when I slept today at 6. So I have been building this project the whole night. So I only slept like 2, 3 hours, then woke up, prepare. So I decided to delete the infrastructure and build it afresh so that I can test my science and see if I've done the correct thing. So we'll move to the next slide. I don't want to dwell much on the slides because I want us to grasp the technical bit of it. We'll have an S3 bucket, private bucket, no access. These are just best practices of architecturing your infrastructure. And then we'll have version enabled, then block all public access. On the cloud front, we'll have S3 origin for static access. And then we are going to deploy the front end on an S3 bucket as well. And then we'll get the Terraform output for the S3 bucket. Of course, it's going to run on an application load balancer. So we are not going to use the URL for the S3 bucket. We are going to use the application load balancer URL to access our front-end application and even our backend as well. Yeah, so those are the best practices. Go to the last slide. Good one. Now, yeah, so I'll now share my screen. In fact, Kevin, you can allow me to share my screen.
Okay. Let me see which account. I thought I'd made you co-host. Oh, sorry. Let me make you co-host.
Yeah, in fact, my repository now is pushing to ECR. I would want guys to see this.
Yeah, you should be able to
So,
share your screen. You should be able to share your
yeah,
screen
yeah,
currently.
yeah.
Okay.
So thank you. Let me just share. Jacob, are you still sharing?
I think none is sharing at the moment, Nelson.
Oh, Kevin.
Yes, Nelson?
Oh, when I go to the share button here, says
Yeah.
I need to install Pass Audio. I don't know if that's supposed to
Are
happen.
you using a Mac or are you using Windows or what are you using?
Ubuntu.
Hmm. Let me see if I just enable sharing to everyone and see whether it will help you. But I think I can see all participants can share. Let me test out. Let me test the sharing. Can you guys see this screen? Can you see my AWS management console?
Yeah.
Okay, that means that it's Nelson to sort his challenge.
Oh, yeah, seen that, sorry. Just a moment. Maybe Kevin, you can be taking some questions as I sort my machine.
Okay, let me see if there's some questions around here. Mhm. Oh, but I can see your screen has come up.
Ah, all
So you
right,
can
all
take it
right, all
away.
right. Whew, all right. I don't know what's that. That. So guys, yeah. Yeah. So Kevin, you can be able to see my screen.
Yes, yes, it is visible. You can see
All right, all right, all
your
right.
VS Code,
Uh,
yeah. Something.
yes, yes. So I'll start with the infrastructure. So here, like I said, we are going to have different applications. Okay, we are going to have a GitHub action. That is our deployment file. This is our deployment file. I'll start with it. This is our CI/CD pipeline. So what it is deploys to AWS. So the branch is main. And then we have environments here. These are just they are not secrets. So these are just variables that are defined here. And then the permission you can be able to see here, it is able to write and also read. And then now from here, it is able to install for testing. From there, we are going to configure the AWS credentials. And then we also log into the ECR, that is Amazon Container Registry. We build and push the image to ECR. We are going to do a Docker build, and then we push. Then we're going to deploy the new images to Amazon Container Service. And then from there, it's going to get deployed to the cluster of the ECS. So that's what is our pipeline will be doing. Up down here, I have an app that I've been able to build. That is a backend application. This is just an Express application that is on Node and Express. What it does is just connects to the backend and also does the DB health check. From here, you can be able to see that. And then if it is get connected, you're going to get an output that says hello world. So it's going to serve front end and also listen to port 3000. So this is a port that's going to listen to. So in our inbound, uh, we are going to get this port in our application. Then we have our public here. This is our index.html. This is our front end. This is our front end application. This is something I just built. So this is our application. That's how our application is going to look like. So these are three-tier application. We're not going to focus more on the application side. We are going to focus on the architecturing of the project and also deployment of our containers, how to do a container deployment, how to do a CI/CD GitHub action setup.
Hello.
Hi, team. I think sorry, I stepped a little bit away from my computer a bit. Let's wait for Nelson to come back. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can feel free to put it in the chat, or you can even come off the mic, come off mute, and then you can ask your question. Anyone need a question as we waiting? And for those who are saying you're floating, trust me, it is part of the baptism by fire in cloud. There's no you're going to come in and someone is going to just do what? Baby, you know the way you do this to a baby until they stop crying, and
Babysit.
it's not a babysitting. What does this mean to doing I don't think babysitting is when you just sit with the baby. I've forgotten those terminologies. Maybe they swing. I
Baby
don't think
swinging.
it's is it baby swinging? No, there's a term for it. Anyways, soothing. There's something else. I'll go and ask. Maybe I'll ask ChatGPT. Yes, rocking, exactly. I think that is the word. Cuddle is another thing. Yes, so your cloud is never going to do that for you. Trust me, and you're going to appreciate why you didn't get that, because when you learn through baptism by fire, it kind of sticks. It kind of sticks. So, and that is what happens in the real world. I know. I think maybe I can say maybe even restart in itself doesn't do that for you. It is quite crazy. It's an intensive program. It's an intensive program. Yes, so Wadondera, what's your question?
Morning.
Morning.
My question is that I tend to have a challenge when sending my Terraform code on GitHub. It always tells me that I have the limitation, some kind of MBs have over surpassed the MBs that I'm supposed to send out. So how do I do that so that I can have a seamless flow?
Are you currently in your laptop?
Yeah, I am, but at the moment I don't have the code to send. I happen to run about that obstacle, then I stopped doing it.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Hey, Nelson. Hi.
Yes, I'm
Oh, you're
back.
back
Sorry,
now.
my
Mhm.
machine. I think I'm running some things in the background, so it's eating up my RAM.
Oh, okay.
I had to stop some services, but I'm back. We can continue.
Before we continue, there's a question from Adondera, and maybe you have a bit of like you can share a perspective. I wanted him to
Yes.
share the screen, but he said you maybe Adondera, you can ask it. I think it's better when if I paraphrase, you might lose some things.
Yeah, my question is that I have a challenge when sending my code to GitHub, my Terraform code. The last time I did it, I was told that I've surpassed the MBs that I'm supposed to send the code on the GitHub. So I don't know how should I do it to have a seamless flow when sending the code to the GitHub.
Oh, so what you're doing is that you're pushing your whole Terraform code, and then Terraform has some files that are so big. That's why it's telling you have surpassed that. You should have a git ignore. You ignore your remote backend Terraform test, and then you also ignore. I'll show you. Let me just share my screen. I show you what I've done. So you need to have a git ignore file. All right. So sorry, I didn't get your name, please.
You can do Adondero or Collins.
All right. So Collins, on your Terraform, this is what you need to ignore. Tested, backup, login info, and HCL. Those files are so big. If we come here and check our infra, this is here. These kind of files, these ones, these are the file. This tested, you also need to ignore the files here. So that's why you'll find that when you're doing your deployment, it has some files that are so many that you need to ignore. So try that, do a git ignore. You can maybe catch up with me. I'll guide you on what to do about it.
Okay,
Go about it.
after the meeting, I'll catch up with you.
Yeah. So Kevin, we can proceed. I'll continue to share my screen.
Yes, you can proceed.
Sorry about that, guys. I had already explained about our application. I was here on the public. This is our index.html. This is what you are going to use as our front-end file. And then now that's after our application, we are going to Dockerize our application. So this is a Docker file. So let me just explain the stages. We do multi-stages to maybe separate our application. So from here, we are going to use Node Alpine to make the image smaller. You don't want to have an image that is 1000 MB. So you want to have an image that is smallest as possible. And then we have the stage 2, we are going to have our working directory. This is the image that is going to be pushed to this is the image that is going to be pushed to our registry. And then the next thing that we're going to have is we are going to run it as non-root so that anytime if anybody have an access to our container, remember container is just a VM. So if anybody has an access to a container, they don't have access to root. So it means that with root, you can be able to do anything. Then you are going to copy dependencies, and then we are going to expose this to port 3000. Then we do health check. Then we run our application. That's just a simple Docker file. Let me see. Yeah. So from there now we are going to have our infra. So our infra are bootstrapped to have this is a bootstrap where I have let me just explain this code from here.
I have a question.
Yes.
You used Node.js 18 Alpine, so I don't know if the Alpine part makes it different, but I've been having trouble pushing Node.js 18 and 20, and I actually got an email from AWS saying that Node.js will stop supporting Node.js 20.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if the
Yeah, that's why
Alpine makes a difference.
that's why it has even this. You can be able to see that I'm getting some vulnerabilities when I hover here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it is out of support or something. I think I'll have to look for that. I'm not sure, but I think it is not supported anymore, because even when I checked on my ECR images, I saw that they have some vulnerability as well. So I'm going to show that it has been replaced with something else. Maybe we can research together and also have a solution on the same. But that is well for creating that awareness.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you. So here, what you are going to do is our providers is AWS. Then we are going to provision our backend, that is AWS state backend. And then our life cycle is that this bucket will not be destroyed. So remember that this is where we're having our blueprint of our infrastructure. So we cannot destroy our blueprint. And then it's going to be managed by Terraform. Versioning is also enabled. Encryption is enabled with algorithm AES 256. You can see the best practices that we've been using here. We have blocked public access, blocked public policy, and then restrict public bucket. The next thing is we are going to expire old versions. Of course, we are going to have different versions. And then now we'll have DynamoDB log table from here. It's paid per request. Then we are going to log the TS date. All right. On the life cycle, we are going to prevent destroy as well. And then we have the tags, which are managed by Terraform. Then our outputs, we are going to get our outputs from here. So output basically is what the infrastructure has been created or provisioned. There are some outputs that you require. So we'll require the bucket name, the key, the region, and also the DynamoDB table. So that's the output. So this is the bootstrap for the S3 and also the DynamoDB. When we come now to the environment, I have the development environment here. We have a content delivery network here, where our bucket is on the front end. And then we have, we are going to block public access as well. And then the S3 bucket versioning. And then now when we come to provisioning our container registry, these put the code comments. So if you can be able to follow through here, the mutability, it means that once it has been pushed, a tag cannot be overwritten. So you can only push another image with a different tag. And then we have encryption of the image. And then we have lifecycle policies. We only keep the last tagged images. Remember, I've told you like AWS will charge you for this. services. So ukiweka images that are not being used, it means that you yourself, you are eating up your resources, or you are eating up the company's resources. So you need to do costs. You need to check on the cost as well, so that you don't have a bill at the end of the month and these images, you're not using them. So we keep the last tagged images, delete the untagged images after 1 day. And then that is that. We keep the last 10 images from there. Then action expires from there. Then we'll move to the container registry here. This is how we are provisioning our container registry. We have the ECS cluster. We have the latest ECS optimized AMI. That is optimization of the AMI Linux. That is recommended, the recommended image. We are going to have these ECS under security groups. So we are going to have AWS security groups with the ECS ID. And then we have the instance profile. This is going to have this block device mapping, where the volume is, we have defined our volume here, and then it is encrypted, then delete on termination. So we are not going to, if we delete our ECS, even the storage as well is deleted. We are going to enable monitoring, then we have the auto-scaling group. So guys, here I'm going to show you, at any given time, our ECS, itakuwa na 2 desired nodes that are running. At any given time, 2 nodes will be running. The minimum should be 1, the maximum size should be 4. So this is why we do the auto-scaling and auto-scaling of our infra. So the next thing is we have the tags there, and then the capacity provider, of course. And then we have the CloudWatch logs. So we have enabled our cloud logs so that we be able to see the logs from our ECS. So we have retention in 30 days. And then on our application load balancer, we are also having the health checks. So our health check is as this. If the matcher is if the endpoints give us a success, so the threshold should always be 2, and then unhealthy threshold should be 3. Then the interval at every time, our ALB is going to hit our DB to check for the health of our containers. Sorry, it's every 30 seconds. Then timeout is 5 seconds. Then we have our elastic, our application load balancer will be listening on port 80, and then it is going to have a port forward. Then we have ECS task definition from here. We are going to have an EC2, that is CPU is 256 and memory is 512. I hope you can see all these things. We are provisioning them as code. There's no way we are going to do anything on AWS. We are just going to use Terraform and provision our infrastructure. And then now we are going to do port mapping. Remember that our application is going to use port 3000. And then now we have now our environment here. See here, I've not encoded anything from here. So in Terraform, we have things called variables. So this variable is going to call from the variables.tf here. And then the secrets, here is where we are going to provision our secrets, the DB password. And then it is seated at our AWS secret manager.db. And then we have the log configuration. This is the AWS CloudWatch. Then now this is the endpoint. So this is the endpoint. Then it has the start period and retries. It can be able to retry, then timeout, and the interface. Then you have the ECS service, where we've been able to even set up the load balancer. And then the deployment minimum health, maximum, and also head check grace period. So then here I have this for IM, this is a GitHub action. OIDC provider, it allows GitHub Action to authenticate to AWS without long-lived keys. So GitHub present a short-lived token, alafu AWS validate it against the provider. So we are going to do the thumbnail print list from here, then the GitHub Action deploy load. So this copy it to exact repo and no other repo can assume it. So yeah, I've been able to define it from here. You can see it from there. And then the permissions to push to ECR and then deploy to ECS only. It is only able to push. So we have the authorization token there. Then the resources on AWS ECR repository. From there now, it pushes the output from the GitHub action. So this one pastes to deploy.ai YAML role for the deployment. Then we have the main.ef. From the main.ef, the providers is HashiCorp. And then we have remote state that is encrypted. That is the S3 bucket, the DynamoDB table, and also we have the key. We have the providers, that is the AWS. We have the variable app name, the environment, and also it is managed by Terraform. The owner, you can give any name that you want to give. Then we have our monitoring here. We are going to do some SNS topic where we are going to monitor if a threshold is surpassed, it's going to send an email to me here for the alerts. So here is the error rate. This is how you set the threshold. And then when you have unhealthy host, you'll get the errors, or you'll get the output via email from for the unhealthy host and what is happening. You also get the ECS. If you have high CPU usage, you can be able to set for that. If it is a greater threshold, you put the period and then the threshold at 80. So if the ECS CPU is above 80 for 3 minutes, it's going to send an SNH topic alert. All right. So we also have our outputs. This I said before is our output is we are going to get elastic load balancer, S3 bucket, all that. And then now our RDS, we are going to have a DB instance. We are going to use a DB 3 micro. Then Postgres is the engine. We have the DB name, username, and then we'll do backups. Then for demo, we are going to set final snapshot tool, and then delete protection false. In production, enable delete protection so that you don't delete your DB. Then now we provision our secrets. This is where we are going to have a secret manager. The RDS master password, the DB password, the application secrets, all that. This is where now we manage our secrets. Then we have the security bit of it. Now this is where we manage our who is accessing what and who is accessing who. So this is very important. Our
I'm
application
sorry,
load
I
balance.
have another
Sorry?
question.
Yes.
Question. The local.db password, is that like a variable or is it like the password itself?
RDS or secret.df.
No, the password. Just scroll. Just go back to the previous file.
This one.
Line 18.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, is that like a static variable or a okay, it's dynamic. I've just seen the pop-up. Okay, no
Yes.
problem.
Yes. Okay. So then on the security bit, we have our application load balancer. We have the security group. We'll have an ingress. We'll have port 80 open from anywhere. Then the egress 43. And then we'll have egress with the CIDR blocks. And then we have the tag names there. And then the ECS, it is going to accept traffic from the application load balancer only. So we are going to, for the ECS, it has usually have the range. So we have this range from port 32, 327.68 to 65.535. then the dynamic port range for application load balancer. We have the egress there, then the RDS accept traffic from the ECS only. I hope you are keen on how we provision this. And then now we have the security group. For Postgres, the port is for 5432. And then we have the IAM, that is Identity Access Management. We have the task execution role. So what does it do? Then we have the resources here. This is the policies that we have set, or the role that you've given this. So you have given it Amazon ECS task execution role policy. And then it is able to pull and then get the authorization token. Down here, we're going to be able to read the secrets, because we need to read the secrets from the secret manager. And then EC2 instance, we need to have an ECS instance role. And then down here, we are going to give it the role. So it is going to have a container service for EC2 role. And then another policy we are going to have is Amazon Container Registry read-only. It's only need to read the image. Down here, we have the variables. So these are just variables. So from here, you can be able to see that the DB password is right from the secret manager. So it's never typed manually. And then we have the VPC. So this is a virtual private cloud. We have the internet gateway. The public subnets, we have two. So at any given point, we'll have two subnets. Then we have two private subnets. We have a NAT gateway with a private internet, which is not the reverse. So we'll have the NAT gateway, and then we'll have route tables, which have a public route table, and then we'll have a private route table. Yeah, that are associated to the private subnets as well. And then we have a bash script or a deployment script. So all these, I'm just going to provision it with, I did it with just one script. So I have a script here. What this script is, it runs once on my laptop, it bootstraps everything. And then after this, all future deployments happens automatically via the GitHub Actions. So what it does is it accesses my infrastructure, and then I have also given it my app name. And then now we are checking for the tools from here. Then we are going to bootstrap this backend state. I've already done this, and then I apply my full infra. And then from there, I push my first image. So maybe we can be able to see if this application is running from our local machine. And then the next thing is upload our frontend to S3. So if you can allow me, I can be able now to showcase the infrastructure that we've already deployed. Probably, I don't know if we have a question so far. Okay, if there's no question, I'll start with the Kevin. What do I start with? Anybody who can tell me what do we start showcasing the infrastructure? Okay, maybe I start with the container registry. So this is our container registry. You can see we have our container registry. I pushed an image at 11:39. We are going to push another image with a different version. It's going to come here. And if I go inside this image, it's going to scan for vulnerabilities. Remember, I did that. So it's going to show you. From here, you can be able even to see the critical ones. So you're able to see all that. So with this, we are going to version our images If we change a different image, it's going to get versioned. And then you can see it has encryption. So the next thing we are going to see is maybe we go to Elastic Container Service. On the Elastic Container Service, we have our cluster. Yes, our cluster is up and running, guys. And we have two running. So you remember what we did here. Where is our ECS? ECS. Yeah, here. If you remember, there's something that I told you that you have to set at any given point. Yes, here. Desired capacity is 2. So at any given point, maximum should be running, should be 2. As you can see, we have 2 tasks that are running from here. Is that correct? Yeah, they are running and they are healthy. Right? So something funny venye tu nimewambia, a cluster is just a VM that is running. So if I go to EC2, I'm going to find those computing there. Yes. So if I just come here, you see, so this is what we are just running web API CS instance. So wherever you are told that you need to run a node is just computing somewhere. Maybe if you have a cluster, I link a cluster with 4 nodes, it means these are instances that are running on EC2. But now the difference between Fargate and ECS and EKS is that in ECS, you have the capability, you feel the power of managing your infrastructure. You can be able to provision your VPC. You're going to define how you want your computing to look like. But now with Fargate, it is serverless. You don't really care about the computing or whatever. Wewe tu unataka kuenda pale, upush Docker file yako, na urun your image serverless. The only thing maybe you provision is the computer, the CPU, and also the storage. So I've been able to show that. I'm going to show you the S3. So I'll show you the S3. The S3 should have a front-end deployment. Yes, so this is our application, and then the TS state. The TS state is our remote storage. .ts. Here it is.
That S3 was deployed when the pipeline was running.
Yes. It was deployed when the pipeline was running. So I ran a pipeline here. So I said, like, as a DevOps engineer, you just click one button and it deploys your infrastructure as a go. So it was able to deploy here from here. From here, you can be able to see all this. And then it is able to push the images, and then the images get pulled, right? Then now here it is able to patch.
It intelligently prioritizes what to do based on the steps.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry?
Thank you.
Okay. So from here, you can be able to see our remote backend. Then I'll show you the versions. These are all the versions, guys. So hizi ndo version zote zenye tumekuwa nazo kwa hii bucket. This bucket, it's not accessible. If I try to open it, it's not going to open. You see, access denied. So it's not publicly accessible. Yeah. So the next thing I'll show you is our application. So this is our front-end application. Should have the index.html. You can follow that URL. It's not publicly accessible as well. So what we do is that we are going to access this application through a load balancer. All right. So if I go to this and open, yeah. So Kevin, this just a simple front-end application that I have built. So this is a public index.html. Here it is. So this is what it's going to do. We can do that through the load balancer. This one is going to work. So it is just a very simple application. AWS is a group. We are going to do APIs check, database health check, root endpoint health check. Then we run all the tests. Then it's going to show you the stack running, S3 plus CloudFront, ECS on EC2. Then we have application load balancer. You have RDS, SQL, ECR, secret manager, Terraform, and GitHub Actions. So we go back to our infra. I
Maybe
want to
just
show
a question. Just a question while
Yes.
you're there. I
Yes.
saw in your slides you had something to do with CloudFront with an S3 origin. So
Oh,
you're
all right.
accessing it.
So
You're accessing it using the S3 endpoint or the CloudFront.
no. I'm accessing through an application load balancer. This AWS account is a new account, so I've not been verified, so I cannot be able to use CloudFront. So unfortunately, I use the other way. I use an application load balancer. So ignore the slides. I used an application load balancer. Have I answered your question?
Yeah. But you're using, if it was an application load balancer, then you'd use an application load balancer DNS, public DNS, right?
Yes.
Or you're just using the S3 endpoint.
All right. I'll show you the application load balancer. Actually, let me just go to it. EC2, go to the load balancer. This is our load balancer. So it is doing port forwarding from HTTP port 80. So it is load balancing from the front end, backend, and the database. So if I go to this, go to this application here.
Just above afu load balancer and alafu DNS name.
Oh yeah, here. If I copy this and paste it here, then I say .ui. Yes. So the same application in a run from here. So guys, then if I delete this UI, yes. So hello from cloud. This is our front end. No, this is our backend. Sorry. Hello from cloud. Here it is, index.js. Hello from cloud. So we are going to change this. We push another image, then we do a CI/CD. We see how an image is versioned through GitHub Actions, and then how GitHub Action is pushing to ECS, and then ECR, and then how ECR is pulling the image, and then how the image is being pushed to the node. I think now that will make everything we get things as it should be. So this load balance is able to load balance between front end, back end, and the database. So if I go to this endpoint and I put the UI, I can be able to check the health. Yes, and I'm getting status. I know guys, those guys who are in back end, when you see green things, you will just feel happy. So it means our API is healthy, our database is healthy, and all tests are going through. So I'll show you the next infra that we've been able to build. That
Just
is
a
our
bit, Nelson,
Yes.
could you go to EC2 just while you're there to EC2,
Yes.
please?
All right.
The instances.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember we had set our desired capacity to 2. So I just
Yes.
wanted to inquire, why is it spinning up 3?
Okay. Let me see from here. Is ECS. So the desired capacity should be 2, the minimum should be 1, and maximum should be 4. All right. So we are within our threshold. So depending on the resources, can be able to stretch up to a maximum of 4. So maybe depending on the request. That's why
Oh,
you find that. Yes, yes.
okay, thanks.
All right. So once, as we are just here, we go to the VPC. I'll show you the VPC. To the end up of VPC. So the VPC, it's I know our VPC is here. So we have our web API VPC. Here it is. So then now here we'll be able to see the resource. The VPC, it has 4 subnets. Remember, we set up our VPC from here. Customer will have two counts. So from here, we have 4 subnets, 2 on public, US is 1. Then we have 2 private one. Then the root tables, we have the private root table and public root table. Then we have now the application API gateway. And then we have the NAT gateway for the private subnets. Then if you come here to the subnets, these are our subnets. They should be for 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 2 public, 2 private. Then the root table, you have two root tables, the root table for private and the public. Then we have the internet gateway. So we have the web API internet gateway here. And then now we have the NAT gateway. This is the API NAT gateway. And then when we go to the security groups, this is where we define our what is what. So we have the web API. This is for RDS. If you come here, you'll see that the inbound rule, it is only open to port 232. Port 5432, that is the port for Postgres. If I go back here, I go to API load balancer, you'll see that it has opened port 80 and 443. That is for HTTPS and HTTP. If I go back now to the security group, I go to ECS. For ECS, this is the ECS security group. You'll find that the inbound security group is the range for our ECS, right? I think that's clear, the security group part. The next thing on the VPC, I don't know if I've missed something or there's a question. I'll move to the DynamoDB table. I show you how we do remote state logging. So on the state logging, we have our table here. So this is our web API. So our remote infrastructure, that is the blueprint of our infra. It is on the DynamoDB table and it is state locked. So what I said is if you're pushing an infra working as a team at any given point, only one person can push Terraform apply at a go. So here it is. You can be able to, it is encrypted and all that. So you can be able even to do monitoring and CloudWatch. And then the next thing maybe I can show is the SNS. We have our NSNS that is enabled. Maybe probably I can accept the email from the application. Yeah, need to accept this. So yeah, confirm my subscription. So I go to the topics. At any time, the alerts will be able to send me an email from here. All right. So in case the threshold is surpassed, we go to the CloudWatch and we see the thresholds that we had set. I hope I'm not fast and maybe we are getting this. I want us to do a deployment so that we'll be able to get the knowledge as well. So if I come here to the dashboard and I come to my application load balancer, you can be able to see that it has data. All right. So if I go back here, I go to Elastic Containers Services. You can see I've also been able to do monitoring. So if my CPU surpasses the minimum memory utilization, if the threshold goes up here, I'll get those cloud cloud those notifications for visibility. We go now to RDS, the database. On the database, we have the database here, the web API database. And then you can be able to see down here, it is sitting under security group, with the security group we had created. And then we have the replica API from here. I don't know if snapshots have been enabled. No. Then now we can go to secrets, where we are managing our secrets. So this is where I expect to have the database password, which it has to be hashed. Here it is. This is the database. This is the web API application. That is the secrets from my web API. And then here where you enable rotation, you can be able to do rotation as well. And then from here, the secrets is the DB password. So it is hashed. At any given point, you cannot be able to see even the password arrangement. And then you can be able to do the versions. You can see from here. I think that's it. We can spin something. What we are going to do is we are going to change our Docker file. We change something into a Docker file, and then we do a GitHub action. We do a GitHub deployment. We see how our CI/CD deploys. So let me go to GitHub. I open my repository. Here it is. I go to actions. Sijali nimekuwa na failed actions mingi than deployments, but I managed. I was pushing today at 5:41 a.m. So the thing we are going to do is we are going to change something on our index.html. Where is this? Our index.js. So here we can say, hello from AWS. With AWS with AI ML user group. Right, Kevin? Kevin still with us? All right. So what we are going to do is now, because we have 4 changes. Hello?
Nelson,
Yes.
is it possible if you could kindly share your GitHub repo?
Okay, let me just on the chat. Yeah, so that's the repo. You can
Thank
fork
you.
it and also you can fork it and also try. So what we are going to do is we are going to do a GitHub deployment, GitHub action. So I want to show you what will happen with GitHub action with a click of git push. What is going to do? Don't worry, me, I didn't do Terraform. You need Terraform apply, because with this deploy.sh, it does that. If I show you from here, what it will do is it's going to do Terraform apply and it provision my infrastructure. Let me just show you. Yeah, so this Terraform apply, Terraform init, and then it's going to do the outputs. So as a DevOps engineer, these are things that you don't keep doing repetitive task. You just have a script that is going to do things for you as you focus on the productivity of your application or the productivity of managing your infra. So what I want to explain about this deployment YAML, the branch is main. So we are going to have the read and write. So it's going to log into the ECR. I'll show you as it does that. And then it's going to build, push the image. Once it build and push, it's going to deploy to the ECS. And then the ECS now will run that image that you have done. So here I've been able to change something from the index.js, and I have to change this line of code. So if I do Docker, if I push my code, it's going to deploy. All right. So we can do git add. Do git commit. So a message. Jacob, give me a message you want us to put. Can do a AWS, or we do push. These are places where you always have to think of what you want to have your commit to look like. Push the latest. We are live there. We are going to go to push. Yeah, so let's go to GitHub, put the for actions, see what will happen. So what does Nanzan test? Does the test in a run uses differm. After it does the test, the build and push to ECR. So you have to be very so here in a push to the ECR. Then it logins to the ECR. I hope you are really enjoying this. Once it pushed, logins to the ECR and post. So if we go to our ECR here, even though inafaa kuship inafaa kuwa in a minute. Should your CSCD should not take more than a minute to ship. So if I go to container registry, I expect a new version. We only had one image. So I expect 2 images right now. And here it is. We have 2 images and it may push side 12:39. Actually, exactly 1 hour later. If I now go to my what is this called? The container service, I expect it to be deploying something different. You can go back here and check if our deployment was successful. Yes, now it's doing deployment. So this is where the deployment is moving. So our action is still deploying. 56 seconds down the line. So it's 1 minute. Still doing the deployment. Yeah. Code deployed. So we expect our code to get deployed. If I come here to the cluster, that's not yet deployed. Once it deploy, we are going to go back here. So the build was quick because our image is very small. And then we have minimized the layers. So that's what you should do. Do multi-stage and then use Alpine. Make your image very, very small. That's why someone commenting saying that it may build haraka. Then it may post to ECR. So here is a deployment. Yeah, just wait. It's going to take like 3 minutes. So at that particular point, you can be sipping your coffee as you wait your deployment, you push to production. And then the good thing is that you can do rollback. If things get bad and you yeah, so the job has finished. So we can go back to the ECS cluster. You'll find that, yes, here it is. You can see one pending. So it is pushing from here. No. You can see that. Hello?
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah, we can see,
Am I audible? Ama nimechanganya vitu? So we have our API task running from here. Can be able to see the health of our service. We have the ECS metrics from here. Can be able to see. Yeah. So someone who had a question on what usually happens. So this is the CPU utilization, memory utilization. So these were SRE engineers do the visibility visualization. Can be able to see all these container insight metrics. Here you have your deployments. So yeah, I think the last deployment has been successful. So we can go back to our load balance because that's what we are using. So go back here to the SC2. I go to so use the DNS. Yeah, so unaona ime deploy hello from AWS UG AI user group. That's what we changed from here to our backend. So it has deployed our containers. So we have the latest container running. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I think the last thing is just to deploy to destroy your resources. So everything is healthy, DB is healthy, everything is good, guys. So that's it. So
How do you roll back?
Okay, I've not done the rolling back, but I think from the ECS, let's just go there. A very good question. I think from the Elastic Container Service, from here, I think there's somewhere I saw where you can be able to go. I don't know if it is in the ECS, ECR. Yeah, I think it is the ECR. Yeah, someone has an idea of how you roll back. I've never
ECS,
done
there's some
rolling
place
back.
your deployment services, ECS services.
Yes, deployments.
ECS services, deployment was service.
Okay, so yeah.
Services, that service,
Deployments.
and then
Deployments. Oh yeah, here it is. You select, sorry. I think you can roll back from here. Deployment service deployment is complete. So I think this is where you can be able to do rolling back. It's here. Then maybe now I can take questions. I think part of it is done. Everything seems to be running. Our API is running well. We have our front end, we have our back end. This is our back end. Then we have our database also is being able to connect. Yeah, so at this point, I just want to take questions.
Yeah, Nelson, if I may.
Or you want us to push another one? We push another image.
I want to ask a question.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask, so I've gotten an overview. I'm not a Terraform conversant, but I've gotten a gist of what you are explaining to us and how you're using Terraform to spin up the resources. So I wanted to ask, why not? Okay, I don't want to seem like I'm putting one on top of the other, but what is there a difference between using CloudFormation infrastructure as code and Terraform infrastructure as code?
Okay. What I would say is, I think the tool doesn't matter. I think it is what you want to achieve. You can use CloudFormation. You can use Terraform. Both tools will help you achieve the same thing. You are provisioning your infrastructure. So CloudFormation, the same type, is able to help you to provision your infrastructure. So it depends with what you want to achieve with your project and what you are aspiring to do. I would say that you don't focus more on the tools, because I find people trying to focus on tools. Sema, nataka kusoma Kubernetes, nataka kusoma Ansible, nataka kusoma hii. But the best thing you can do is to understand the fundamentals. If you understand the fundamentals, you'll be able to choose between the tools and be able to dance to understand what each and every one is. For me, I choose Terraform because it is flexible enough, and it also is able to help me choose between different provisions. If you can be able to see from here, providers. So, Terraform has integrated different providers. When you are doing multi-cloud, Terraform is better because you can be able to do Azure, can be able to deploy your infrastructure to Azure, to Google Cloud, GCP, to AWS using Terraform because it has integrated with providers. You can also do Kubernetes management using Terraform. So that's it. So choose the right tool depending on what to achieve. But the best thing is understand the fundamentals.
Okay, I appreciate it.
I have a question too.
Yes.
Nelson, so the first one is not rather a question, but an observation. There was a lady who had raised her hand. Maybe you'll give her a chance. She Idioma something. After I finish. She raised her hand a couple of times. I think you must have missed it. The second one is my question now. When you look at your local host, local cloud to something, there's that repo. Local host to cloud, yeah. It's like an umbrella repo. It has both the infrastructure code and the application code, right?
Yes.
So there's scenarios where now somebody deploys the infrastructure and then the application comes later on, may not be at the same time, may not be. But like for us, like we work with vendors at our company where we manage the infrastructure and then the vendor will come and host their application. on the infrastructure. So they might use, like we said, no tools. They might use Circle CI, they might use Argo CD or Tecton, whatever tools they have. But for us, we just have to set up the infrastructure for them. So there's the angle where now you're decoupling your infrastructure and your application. So that would mean having like a pipeline for your infrastructure code, like your Terraform code. You have a pipeline on its own that's independent from pipeline yao yenye watakuja ku deploy na the application. So is that a best practice? Ama it's like somebody you can always do, so like your repo now, they've shared the link. Is it a best practice to use it like that, where you have visibility of everything, or it's best practice to separate like your code, infrastructure as code, because now the infrastructure yako pia ni an application on it, so like it's behaving like an application because it's code now, right?
Yeah. So what maybe I would avoid it's possible to manage the infrastructure and application differently. And now you can be able to on Terraform have when you go deep in Terraform, find like cycles and things that are called depends on. So in Terraform, what we do is, of course, first we have to provision the infrastructure, and then the application will depend on deployment of the infra. If I can get you right, because where are you going to deploy the application if you don't have the infra? So first thing is you have to deploy the infra. Then on top of the infra, now you build the application. So if you are working as a team, I think we have tools where you can be able to have a CI/CD pipeline that is able to do that deployment or is able to do the matching. So probably you can have even different repositories, but now have a pipeline that is able to do the deployments of the infrastructure. And once the infrastructure has been provisioned, now the application is deployed as well. So you can manage them both differently, depending on how your team is working and also the flexibility of a team. Because you don't expect that you manage everything in one repository. So I hope I've been able to answer the question.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So
We had there's a question from a lady, Nelson. Let me see whether I can. It's called Ijeoma. How do you raise your hand? I don't know whether you are in a position to, or your question was answered. Ijeoma, can you hear us?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
The question I wanted to ask is because anytime I do GitHub action, I always copy the code from AI. So I just want to ask if there's a proper way to do it, on my own. I don't have to use chat and do it. That's what I wanted to ask. I just wanted to ask about the workflow. Do you understand me?
Okay. What you're saying is, thank you so much for the question. What you're saying is, you have been building your GitHub actions with AI, but now you want to do it. You want to own your code.
Yes, I want to know it a proper way. Yeah.
All right. So, let me tell you. You are a DevOps or a cloud engineer.
Sir, I can hear you.
All right. So I think AI is here with us, and I can tell you, you can do coding with AI. Here, what I've done is I want to be honest with you. I didn't code everything here. And even is a discussion that we've been having with Kevin, even if you code with AI, do you understand what you are doing?
Yes, I understand
A
what I'm
couple,
doing.
yeah, a couple of minutes ago, I've just said that you need to get the fundamentals. If you have the fundamentals, even having to code with AI, you'll be able to understand what you do. So even if you are doing safety with AI, do it and then review your code. Review your code, see what it is doing, and you'll be able to understand. I think that's how I can advise it. Even if you are coding with AI, don't stop. Don't say I will not code with AI, because it is helping you to ship fast. This project I started it like 2 days ago. And by today by 5:40 p.m. I was able to move to production development. Not because I was doing debugging. I was not using AI to do debugging. I was using AI to help me move fast. But I was moving with speed, with knowing what I'm doing and what I want to achieve. So I would advise you that you keep going, but just understand what output the AI is giving you. Review your code, understand it,
No,
and
I
own
always
it.
understand what what is giving me.
Yeah,
I always
yeah,
understand.
yes.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. So Kevin, maybe just to mention is that make sure that you destroy your infrastructure. So I also have a pipeline, a script for destroying my infra. So after this meeting, I just run one script and my infra will be destroyed as well. For those who will be joining us from next week, I'll be part of the Terraform challenge. I'll be part of more of the guidance, because I did it last year. I did it and was through guidance of Kevin. So those who want to share more knowledge of it, I'll be able to guide the community and also showcase best practices. So we are going to do more on Terraform. This time we are going to do Terraform Init, Terraform Plan. That we are going to do that. I know today I did do that, but me, I have a script that is already doing that. So it's able to destroy my infrastructure. You can see from here, Terraform destroy to approve. So infrastructure will get destroyed. So that's what for me, Kevin. I don't know if I've missed something or there's something that someone wants to reach out. I don't know if I've done a good presentation or was it well understandable. I know I have used a lot of services.
Oh
So
yes, oh
yeah, you can give
yes.
feedback. Yeah.
Yeah, you can share feedback to Nelson if you have any. Thank you so much. It has been quite an engaging session. I really appreciate you taking time to take us through these. And just to mention is that Nelson, you can share your socials. You can share how people can reach you, and also about the EVOPS community. We are partnering as AWS AML User Group Kenya together with EVOPS to bring you this year's edition of the 30-day Terraform Challenge. And for all those who had applied, I don't know, Nelson, did you close the form, or you can, if you have the form, you can share last minute people to if you're not thought about registering, you can register now.
Let me just share.
Yes?
Let me just share the
Yeah, you can share the form. Yeah, we are going to be closing the form after we get started, and then so that can easily send the emails. Emails is going to be coming through over the weekend. It's officially going to start on Monday. That is for those who are asking when is it going to start. And everyone who had registered will get an email. You're not going to like say you're selecting you and you are rejecting others. No. Everyone who registers through the form will get an invitation to participate in the challenge. Just to mention
so
is yes.
sorry. No, I've
Yeah.
shared the link. Yes.
Yeah. So for those who are not registered, you can use the link that has been shared in the chat. Also, there are going to be some giveaways. We have some HashiCorp swag that are there. There's like some, if you're going to be in the country, that is, if you're in Kenya, you're going to get some like t-shirts, and there are some t-shirts to be given away. There's some HashiCorp limited kind of edition thumb bottles. There are going to be a couple of things there. And the biggest prize of them is to get the voucher to do the Terraform associate exam. We haven't aligned on how many of those are going to be availed. But at the end of it all, it's very important to first of all think about the learning, don't think about the outcome. Enjoy the process. That said,
Yeah.
unless there's anything else you can add on to what is related to the challenge that not everyone will get, definitely. Vouchers cost money. Yeah, vouchers cost money, so you can give everyone. Yeah.
Just to mention, this is my first year in Terraform, and actually I started Terraform through Kevin last year through AWS user group. I became the best of the best, and I'm still continuing to push. So yeah, if you don't feel motivated, I'm one of the motivation you should have today. You should keep going, you should keep pushing. I did the Terraform challenge for 30 days and it was very interesting. So this time we are getting engaged a bit bigger. Like Kevin has said, we started a community and we partnered with AVOPS. AVOPS is a community that we are more focused on DevOps and cloud. So this time, actually, we are going to manage our repository or our project. We are coming up with our website. So that is just very exclusive information. Actually, I'm sharing with you guys. If Kevin, you allow me to.
Yeah, you're allowed, but I thought if you share now, what will you say in the kickoff session? Anyways,
All
but it's
right.
okay.
That's a very exclusive one. I just want to give them a teaser because I want them to join this session and feel so encouraged. So that's it from me, and I look forward to having you next time. And thank you so much, Kevin, and your team. I've posted my LinkedIn there. You can reach me at Nelson Ngumo. You can also follow our eBooks community, eBooks everything. And yes, let's continue building and see you on the clouds.
Yeah, there's a question that has been asked in the chat, and I want to address it. And I know Nelson can add to this. That you're going to be planning to have weekly expert sessions. There are not going to be like classes for each. Everything in the platform is going to be self-sustaining. That means that you really don't need someone to hold your hand and to get into a synchronous class session for you to get through to this. You're also going to decide your version of consistency. We realized last year we defined consistency as doing the challenge every day, every single day, and it didn't work out well, especially for those who are juggling with work. So you're going to be defining your consistency, but then again, we'll seek the inconsistency. So, for example, you cannot register for the challenge on day one and then come on day 29 and want to do everything from day one to day 29. It's not going to work like that. So, if you decide, okay, you're going to do every 3 days, you're going to do something worth 3 days, then you can come back after 3 days. That is your definition of consistency. If you're going to come after every 5 days and do everything that is related or do something ahead for 5 days, still fine. And then it also reduce the burden from our end to deal with giving daily updates. Yep. And yeah, so the form, I think the form has been reshared. Thanks, Nelson. So please register if you haven't registered. It's a very life-changing opportunity. You also get opportunities to interact with the wider HashiCorp and IBM community through HashiConf, HashiTalks, name them. And yeah, the deadline is weekly. Monday is when you want to close out the form, and then you can get to know those who are working with, because you also don't want someone who joins on the 15 days into the challenge, then they're trying to play catch up. It becomes very tricky for us to support them. And also, we want it to be a fair chance to everyone who is going to be part of the challenge, that we can define consistency the same way. That is they all start at the same time. They decided whether it's 5 days, because if someone joins us 10 days left to the challenge and they do everything every day, that is not going to create the correct picture of their consistency compared to it's not going to be a 30-day challenge for them. It's going to be a 10-day hack of a 30-day challenge, which doesn't make sense. So that's how it's going to be. We really have people who are very interested in supporting us, and you're going to see amazing expert speakers, big DevOps engineers in the space, ready to mentor you and give you some of the ideas around this. So if DevOps is your thing, if Terraform is your thing, please sign up for that 30-day challenge. And you're also going to have an AI element to it. That said, I'd like to really appreciate Nelson, appreciate it for the opportunity. We've seen so many people, they run their application, even see students, when they're presenting the innovations, it's on localhost. So please stop the localhost, start the cloud. That's what you're saying, and you can do it. It's possible. There are a lot of free tools, many things that are open source. Nelson has also shared the GitHub repo. And if you had not joined us on as again I said, in the when you're starting, you can the recording is going to be there on our YouTube channel in a few once Zoom processes it, and we can also join our WhatsApp community from there, and also all our socials are there on the link tree. So the presentation slides, I think Nelson can add a PDF version to the GitHub repo, so that when you're having the repo, it will be there. Isn't that the better way, Nelson?
Yeah. I'll do that.
Yeah. So you'll have a PDF added to the repo. So as long as you have the repo, you'll get the slides from there.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe
Thank you so
Kevin
much, everyone. And do have a lovely. Yes, Nelson, you want to say
can
something?
turn on our cameras and take a
Yes. Oh,
screenshot.
yeah, forgotten that part. Yes, please, let's turn on our camera for a group photo, which you can use for LinkedIn. Please build in public. Build in public, and share about these sessions. Let me get my specs. I'm struggling with it. Yeah.
All these faces, I think I'm not seeing guys here.
Okay, at least now I can look at the screen for long.
Kevin, I
Anyways,
think these faces are so new to me, so I hope to catch up
nice,
with everyone.
which is awesome. We are
Yes.
we are we are tired of seeing the usual faces, and you go somewhere to an AWS event, you're like Kevin or something, or Nelson. So good to see all of you. And Nelson, you'll take the snips. Can also take it on my end. So for those who are coming in, okay, you can put in a smile as I do the first one. Thanks so much for those who have joined us. Let me take another one. Thank you. I can see awesome. You just do another one.
I see Bosco with the Terraform t-shirt.
Nice.
Awesome.
Let me see. Is there another
Thank you
page?
so
Could I
much.
be missing people? I don't know if there's another page. No, there isn't. Okay. Yeah, so you'll share the theme on the WhatsApp group for you to share. That is going to be instantly. If you haven't joined the WhatsApp community, do join. Okay,
Thank you
thank
so
you,
much.
everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye
And
bye.
do have a nice time and see you on the other side, right?
All right. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Let me stop recording. Bye-bye.